Let me tell you, when it comes to being rigid and just wanting things to be the right way, oh, I was the queen. I remember very distinctly one day coming home from work and going in to get a Tupperware in order to put some of my food away that I hadn't used. And the Tupperware drawer was a mess. My partner at the time had gone in and shuffled things around. And you know what I did? I lost my shit. I mean, I was yelling and throwing Tupperware, and why can't you just do this the right way? Now, having done lots of healing work, I have a lot more understanding of why survivors of trauma often find themselves in the camp of either rigidity or chaos. So let's talk about that and explore how this can impact our environment and our relationships.
But to revisit something as traumatic as abuse can be frightening up front, but it's certainly worth the healing that's going to come out on the other end.
So, when we're thinking about our relationship to our environment in the context of trauma, one thing that I want you all to understand is that when we experience abuse, particularly if it's in our home, we immediately feel out of control about our environment. We might not be able to escape it. We might be coming home from school every day and right back into the hands and into the space that we share with an abuser. And so, what many of us do is begin to try to find little ways that we can feel in control. So, for me, my abuser never entered my room. And so, my room was actually a very safe place. But I became very rigid about that space. Like, I wanted it to be just so. I didn't want anyone to tell me what to do about it. I definitely didn't want to clean it if I didn't decide to do it myself, right? And I wanted things to be set exactly where I wanted them to be set. Sometimes people go on the other end of the spectrum and go into chaos. And I want to read you a little something from Raquel Lerner's Affirmations for the Inner Child. My adolescent within is learning order. As a teenager, I hated it when my mom told me to clean my room. It was my room, wasn't it? I could decide how I wanted to live. So in rebellion, I made certain my bedroom was always a mess. Shoes and clothes and worse strewn on the floor. As an adult, I'm still stuck with my rebellious teenager. Sometimes I think his piles of trash will bury me. Cleaning up after him leaves me angry and exhausted. Today, I will take control of my environment. I no longer have to feel overwhelmed by the enormity of housekeeping tasks. I make my own messes, and I will clean them up. When I have finished using something, I will put it back. I make sure that I am not inadvertently bringing the outside inside. I will work with, instead of against, myself. Today, my environment will reflect my inner accord. I love that last statement. My environment will reflect my inner accord. One of the things that Dan Siegel talks about in his book Mindsight is how trauma often lands us in these camps. He describes it as two banks on a river. One side of is rigidity and the other side is chaos. And in the midst of that is this river that where we most want our lives to actually go, like kind of this flow. So we're not in either extreme. And you know, for me, I personally trended towards rigidity. That was my safe place. Many of my clients tend towards chaos. And then sometimes we can be rigid in some areas and we can be chaotic in others. So our healing work really has to do with coming into a place of flexibility, resilience, being able to kind of insert ourselves into experiences and go with the flow, noticing where we want things to be just so, noticing where we might need to release that a little bit, have a little bit more flexibility, notice the areas in our lives that are chaotic and have no organization and no structure, and bring some structure into that. You know, the universe has a funny way of always putting people in our lives that we really do need. And all of my partners have actually trended more towards disorganized than organized. And this has actually been beneficial for me because it's helped me to expand my capacity to release my attachment to things being the right way. And one thing that has really, really helped me is reframing the way I even talk about and think about these sorts of things. I say to myself, this is a way, or this is my way, or this is my preferred way. And in that, I can then see that actually there are many, many paths that can lead us to the same results and same outcomes. And just because somebody's using a different approach or sees things differently doesn't mean that they're unsafe or there's danger. I had to do a lot of work to find peace in my environment, to be able to sit there without kind of becoming very OCD about it and wanting to be in constant control and management of it. Again, many of the people that I work with are on the other side of the spectrum. They can't move around their environment because there's stuff everywhere and they can't find things. And so both rigidity and chaos cost us something. And so today I want to just really encourage you to investigate this and to begin to look around the spaces that you inhabit and to start to question and wonder, is this an environment a reflection of how I really want to be living my life? Do I need more flexibility? Do I need more organization? How to, again, do I make this environment reflect my inner accord? Until next time, take good care of you.